What's up guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Reshell of the BMW E36 race car or drift car, whatever you want to call it. This is where we're at the moment. I've obviously got the front end in with the suspension as we did last episode, both sides. One thing I did do though was I cut the top hats to give us a little bit more adjustment in terms of the camber so that we could dial a little bit more out, because I was running this side I haven't done yet, as you can see, just so I can give you a comparison, but running an aggressive amount of camber, as I always have been, but a little bit too much. Now, I've got a bit more adjustment and a lot less camber on this side. It's probably hard to tell in the video. Anyway, before we start this video and get into it, I just want to shout out to Reshell who made this awesome t-shirt, and they put my race car on a t-shirt, which I'm super stoked about. So go hit them up at Reshell, give them a follow. Buy one of these sick long sleeve tees off them, they're freaking sweet. Anyway, into the episode. Today we are removing the M43 from the donor car. This engine coincidentally has already sold to someone who watched the last episode. They messaged me, so shout out. He's going to come pick up this engine in the next week hopefully. So I'm pulling this out, and then I've got to pull the M52 B28 out of the race car up there. Shout out to the broken race car, sorry buddy. Yeah, so today we'll be pulling this out, tidying up the engine bay. I gave a little polish here just to see how it'd come up. This car is so clean, so it's going to look really cool. I'm keeping everything super minimalistic here. I'll just cut out the inner guards as I did in the last race car, and that's literally about it. I'm going to try and keep everything kind of as stock looking as I can in this engine bay. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got my table set up with all the tools on it that we'll need. Just makes things super easy so that I don't have to keep walking back into the dirty, crazy garage. Just do everything here. It's about time we get into it. We've also got our new M52 B28 sitting here as well. So I'm going to be doing a couple of things to this, tidying it up. And that's the actual engine that will go in this new race car. So I'll pull the M52 B28 into the old car, take all the good bits off it, put them on this, put it in the new race car. It's just so it's always nice to start with a fresh engine. And also the other engine that I'm pulling out of the old race car, I'm going to rebuild really nicely with rods, pistons, head gaskets, studs, and some more boost into that thing. But for now, the junkyard engine will do. So let's get started. Alright, step one is to pull the whole front end off the car so that we can just kind of pull the engine out the front instead of lifting it up the top. The handy thing about doing this is that we can kind of not put things back in the front that we don't need as well, so I can obviously cut the arches out and stuff without cutting anything else. So this is where we're at the moment. I've taken a lot of stuff out. Removed the air conditioning, removed the radiator, removed the condenser for the air conditioning. As you can see, there's a lot of room in here with these things. I mean, if you were going to turbo this M43, which a friend of mine did, look at all the room you have for the turbo. It's crazy. Just for the record, my friend who turboed the M43, stock computer, just a fuel rig, some injectors, and he managed to get 147 kilowatt out of that on a dyno. 147 kilowatts, so it's not bad. I think that's what, nearly 200 horsepower. That's pretty good for an M43, and that thing shred all day. The only reason that he had to stop drifting it is because he blew the clutch in it. Anyway, back to the task at hand. I've got to pull the front off the car now. Alright, we've got the car in the air now. Took the front wheels off. There's just a couple of bolts right here. Take these plastic surroundings off. There's a couple of bolts right here, and then also a couple of bolts up and under the guards, and then the front bumper should just slip right off. we got the bumper off. Not actually as difficult as I thought it would be, which is awesome. So I'll pull all this crap off. Good opportunity to get the stuff off now. I'll undo these 4 bolts here and these 4 bolts in here. These bolts here and here, and then we should be able to start pulling off this whole front end, and then we can lift the engine out. Whew, starting to see light at the end of the tunnel now. Yes. Alright, ended up having a couple of problems with getting the front end off, and I'll show you guys what the problem was and how I got it off. So these bolts here are super stuck. Still are. This one's threaded. I grinded a flat spot in with the grinder. I punched this in with the hammer, and then I got the pliers and I actually used this to assist me in twisting it, and it's out. So just got to use a little bit of ingenuity when things don't work out, and I find there's always at least one bolt that just kind of stops you from doing what you want to do or getting to where you want to go. So mad, so close to pulling this thing out. Alright, another thing I forgot about was there's a couple of spot welds holding the front end on. You can kind of see them. One's here, one's up here, so you got to drill them out with a drill, pretty easy, and then I'll be able to pull the front end off. Alright, now I'm going to hook the engine up to the engine crane and pull it up. I'm sure there's a couple of weird things that are still attached. I'm going to pull the ECU out of this box right here as well. Yeah, I'm going to pull the engine out. Yeah. Yes, a couple hours later and the engine is out. That was a mission, but we got there in the end. Time to put this 4-cylinder boat anchor aside and start working on the engine bay to get it prepped for the M43 B28 and get rid of anything that we don't need. Alright, the engine's now on the ground in the garage on a skateboard, so that when I want to move it I can for the new owner. And we're about to get started on the engine bay. Now before we get started on the engine bay, I thought I'd run you guys through a couple of learnings that I had from the last car to this car. So basically with the last car, when I first got it and I wanted to build a drift car and I was so keen, the intention was, you know, good. But basically what I did was just cut everything out that I thought didn't need to be there. And you know, in some ways that helped with weight, but what it didn't help with is it wasn't super practical, and I cut a lot of things out that in hindsight I probably could have left there and would have helped me out. So with this engine bay, I'm going to keep it quite chill. So all I'm going to do is cut out the inner fenders. I'll remove this, the heater core, and that's basically it. I'm going to leave everything else as it is. I'll cut out a couple of little things there in the way, but other than that, I'm going to leave it. Not worth wasting my time. It's going to look super clean and stock, so let's do this.
you doing, mate?
Set it on fire. Don't spray brake cleaner before you grind. Man, that stuff's flammable. Alright guys, we're going to wrap it up for the night. I'll just show you the progress we've made on the car. Just come down here. Oh, what the hell? Oh my god, it's a Matt powered car. My friend Matt Walker came over to give us a hand. And engine's out. We've cut all the inner guards out, which is awesome. Super stoked, looks wicked. And we've actually used the door seals over the cuts to just to cover the cuts and make them look all pretty. And it actually works super well. So that's just a bit of ingenuity there. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll be cleaning all this up a bit more, getting it good to go so that we can chuck the engine in. I've got to work out the slave or the master cylinder and the clutch pedal because this is an automatic car and it's going to be a manual, obviously, being a drift car. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at It's Mike Lake. Follow Matt Walker. What's your Instagram, Matt? Just Matt Walker?
Yeah.
That's it? Yeah, this thing's going to be